Let's go. Okay, so last time like someone commented that they wanted like me to make a list of the best summer perfumes. So I don't want to make like a summer perfume list just right off the bat. I want to review individual fragrances at first. So I was thinking like why don't I recommend what I think is one of the best summer perfumes absolutely right now, which is Versace
Versace. Is Versace?
Versace, Bright Crystal, and Bright Crystal Absolu, which two are almost very similar. So I thought like I'll do just one review for them because you don't really need two separate reviews because they're such like absolutely close to each other kind of flankers that you can actually mistake one for each other. So I thought like let's just do both of these. Okay, so let's start off with Bright Crystal. Okay, wow. Wow. Let's talk about the first impressions. If you're talking about the first impressions of Bright Crystal, this is like immediately like summer in a bottle. This is an absolutely like spring summer perfume like which is so gorgeous. It's like it's very fruity. So you've got like pomegranate, I think, remember from Fragrantica. So there's yuzu fruit, there's peony, and I think they have like the note of ice in there, which is like really weird for me, but still it's good. But I really like this as a summer fruity juicy perfume. Like if you really like juicy, if you like drinking like pomegranate juice, if you like drinking like all sort of those kind of things, that's like this is for you. Actually, so Bright Crystal Absolute has the pomegranate note in it, but this does not. But this still smells like I've never eaten yuzu fruit in my entire life. But if somebody said like, do you think if I smell this and they said there's yuzu fruit in it, I would like that's what that fruit looks like. Okay, so now let's talk about Bright Crystal Absolute. And the only difference between Absolute and Bright Crystal is that this has an added note of pomegranate, I think, and this is like much thicker. This is like a juicy perfume. It's got like a much more thick vibe going on it. It's the same like DNA. Like you can definitely like mistake them for each other if you like smell it on someone passing by. But if you're like if only when you've got it to your nose, only then you can like tell the difference. Yeah, this is much thicker. This is like definitely you take the Bright Crystal DNA, you add a pomegranate thick juicy note to it. This is not like a very thin pomegranate. This is like pomegranate concentrate that you added to it. That's like really giving it like a thick vibe. That definitely makes this like a much more like nighttime perfume. So the way I see these is like if you're talking about like Bright Crystal, and you're going to the office in the day, you're wearing this, and this you're wearing at night if you're going out into a party or like a dinner or something. Okay, so let's talk dominant notes. Dominant notes with Bright Crystal, definitely the yuzu perfume and the yuzu note, and then there's like peony is definitely there. Those are like the two dominant, really like out there kind of notes, and then the rest is kind of like you're talking about these other supporting notes that you can't really smell but definitely like kind of are there. Like there is nothing in here which like the complexity does not go towards like sweet like vanilla sweet or something kind of perfume. This like very stays like a very fruity sweet kind of in all the kind of supporting notes. Okay, so I just checked. Bright Crystal does have pomegranate note in it, but it's not very dominant. Well, it's much more dominant in the Bright Crystal Absolu. Yeah, Absolu has like much thicker version of the pomegranate juice coming through with it. Like you can definitely tell. So when it comes to the note, if you're someone who loves fruits, you love like a fruity floral kind of perfume, this is an absolutely gorgeous choice. So now let's come down to the Thiage and Projection. What do I think? So a few like weeks ago when Rakhdi, or as rest of India calls it Rakhi, was happening, I gave my sister like a huge decant of Bright Crystal. Like she had come over and she tested all the perfumes and she picked Bright Crystal as a favorite. She was like, this is amazing. So I gave her like a 30 ml and she told me that this lasts 12 hours on her skin. Now I don't know how true that is because this is a really fresh perfume and I can like imagine this to be like 8 hours. But I could see like if she's wearing like a t-shirt and it rubs off here, because perfume lasts because perfume lasts a lot longer in your clothes, like if it rubs on here and you can smell it, like sure, definitely. But other than that, I do think that this is like 8 hours, 7 hours kind of perfume. And Bright Crystal definitely has, like in the heat especially, it has good projection. You're talking like 3 to 4 feet. And I think a lot of people are gonna be really happy with the longevity and the projection of this perfume. As for Bright Crystal Absolu, this is definitely more thicker. I do see this to have like the same kind of projection, but the thickness might limit the projection a bit, or it, like because of the thickness, like the sillage might increase because of it. Like projection and sillage are different. Projection is how far it goes, and sillage is how long it can linger in your air. Like you pass through, if it's too thick, it might actually linger more in the air. Okay, so let's come to who do I see this on. This is definitely both of these. The Bright Crystal for sure is definitely like much more youthful. This is definitely someone in the early 20s kind of perfume for me. I see this as like a college girl, like even a high school perfume. You're going to the office. It's a very daytime, a very professional smelling scent. There's nothing that's too like nighttime about it. The Absolu is much more like a nighttime kind of perfume in a hot, humid kind of climate. Because this, like, if you're talking about someone who's in a cold climate, I don't think this will work for it. I think this is much rather if you're in a state like Kerala, if you're in some place that gets really hot like Chennai or something. These two are like really great options. But other than that, I can't recommend them for someone who lives in like North Indian state where it gets really cold in the winter. If you're talking about just winter perfumes, if you're talking about like the summer, you're in Delhi, you're in some other place, these are like great options. Who do I think will like it? I think someone in their 20s in college, who's someone who's just joined the office, who wants a long-lasting, youthful, fruity perfume. I think this is a perfect one. And I think I have the 150 ml, and this is quite cost effective if you're asking me. If you're looking at like, I think it's like 150 or 180 ml. If you're talking this, you're getting quite a bang for your buck. And even this, like Bright Crystal Absolute, this is definitely more mature in my idea. I think someone in their 30s, 40s can wear this, even 50s. This doesn't have that kind of like maturity with it. This is much more youthful, 20s at most for me, maybe 30s. But that's pretty much it. What are my final impressions? Both of these perfumes are absolutely gorgeous summer perfumes. They're some of the best perfumes that I recommend for hot, humid weather climate. If you're in Kerala, if you're in Chennai, if you're in like some other South Indian city, especially even if you're in North India during the summer, you're in July weather, this is one of the best options. If you have a cousin if you have a sister like me who's in college, who might be joining like an office soon, this is a great option for that kind of person. So that's who I recommend this for, and that's pretty much all about it. So that was all of my natural light kind of setup. Now I've turned on the lights. Let's see if this is better. I don't know how this will turn out, but let's see. This is gonna be like a fun experiment going on from here. Also, is this like better or is this better? So see you guys in the next one. Do let me know how you like the lighting setup and the camera setup. Is this better or this better? See you in the next one.